We are back on Trojans Live. It's Jordan Moore, John Jackson, and Tony Bland, the associate head coach for USC men's basketball, right next door to his home arena, Galen Center, where things will get going here finally. November 13, the season starts against San Diego. It's a 5 p.m. game, the Trojans season opener. And get ready for your next big game. Let Ralph's help make game time a little easier. Place your order today for ready-made party platters at your neighborhood Ralph's Deli or ralphs.com/order online. Tony, we never had you on the show before. We always get to Andy, but I like your perspective. And, you came in, you and Jason Hart and Kevin Norris, you came in, and one of the big things that this assistant coaching staff, and obviously the head coach too, was tasked with was getting more talent into this program. And take us, why don't you start by taking us through that sort of recruiting plan, how you guys approached it, without a ton of returning talent.
First of all, I'm going to start by saying times are hard if you have me on here.
This is our eighth guest, Tony.
Times are hard.
We've just been waiting to get
We're
you
in the
on.
slums if Tony Bland is on here.
This is it.
No.
This is what the people showed up for.
No, it's been great. Our motto is we want to take care of home. And we started off with a kid like Jordan McLaughlin, who was getting recruited by Kansas and UCLA and Indiana. And we were able to keep him here. And Elijah Stewart, who was getting recruited by North Carolina, Oklahoma State. We were able to have a top 10 recruiting class in our first year. Probably couldn't tell it because the guys were young, but followed it up with another top 25 recruiting class, and we're doing well this year. So want to take care of home, and then, if we have to go out and some guys we can't pass on, we'll go recruit there as well.
What are kids looking for these days? I mean, I hear that, it's a trend. First, they want to come from the education. Then they say, "Oh, I'm looking for one and dones." I mean, what are kids ultimately looking for when they come to when you're recruiting them that that you can sells USC?
You know what? You have to read the pulse of the kid, because you have a kid like Chimezi Metu, who is an amazing talent. Hopefully an NBA player one day. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's not listening to this. I don't want to keep him humble.
Yeah, one day, like 4 years from now.
Right. Day. So he wanted to come for the academics, solely academics. Okay. And we have the luxury at USC to have a great academic institution, and you have other guys that we've been down, so they want to have the opportunity to play right away. So you have to read the pulse of the recruit, and it's a wide range of things that they want to come for. But at USC, we have a little bit of everything.
Well, tell us about Benny Boatwright and Chimezi Metu. I mean, you have everybody back from last year in that great recruiting class you talked about. By the way, I know the recruiting rankings, the recruiting guys don't love to talk about them, but you brought in 7 top 110 players since you guys have been here, which is pretty impressive haul in 2 short years. And now you have Benny and Chimezi coming in. How can they affect this team? These two guys are both big men, but very different types.
Well, last year we lacked shooting. We have that covered with Benny Boatwright.
He can shoot.
He might be the best shooter in the country at 6'10", 6'11". And we also lack defensive intensity, protecting the rim, and we have that covered with Chimezi. He is an unbelievable shot blocker. His energy on defense is going to elevate our whole team. So we pretty much went out and covered everything we lacked. Not saying we're going to win an extra 20 games, but we had a couple areas that we needed to improve, and with those two guys, instantly we're improving.
And that's part of it that I was going to ask, because in high school these guys are elevated so high because they are great talents. But then when they come to college, they have to get used to college basketball and mesh with their teammates. How long does it usually take, sort of stereotyping here, to get a guy to play at a high level in college?
We're still trying to figure it out with these guys.
Well, the expectation is 1 year, right?
You know what? Last year we brought in that recruiting class, and they were all young. And, beginning of the year, I got a couple extra gray hairs. But towards the end of the year, they started to compete, and we were in the games. And we actually won a couple games last year that, we're on the fence about. So they started picking it up. And now what you have is you got guys, they're still young. We only have one senior. But you got younger guys with experience. So, and you got depth. So now when one of those younger guys, he's not handling, his workload, where you can look over your shoulder, you have someone else you can put in the game now, to where we didn't have that luxury before. So that's good.
And you've asked the Trojan family a little bit to be patient, because you guys didn't go for any quick fixes. You did have a couple transfers in there, but they were still young transfers, no grad transfers and come in and you're plugging holes all over the place. We watched growing pains, and we certainly saw it last year, but does that patience now pay off over time? Was that the long game that you guys were playing?
I think it does. I think we could have went for the quick fix. We could have put junior college guys, 50-year guys, but we want to build this program the right way. We want to add great character. All the guys that we bring in are good in the classroom, highest GPA, You know, I can't even remember how many years we brought in kids that we don't worry about when they leave the arena. So we brought in good guys, and along with good guys, we brought in good players. So we think it's starting to pay off now. We look in practice; it's very competitive. You know, we got guys that are holding each other accountable, and that's what you want. You know, when you're too deep at every position. You know, if somebody wants to take a night off, we have another guy that can come in, kind of like, you know, our football team, Khalil. He's thrown right in there, has to step up. You know, who would have thought this year would be on the third center, you know, so.
Well, I saw you guys took a trip to Italy in August, and at first I said, man, these guys are going on vacation. But then when you went out there, the team played well. You guys averaged 107 points a game and, went 4-0 on the trip, to Italy. Explain, how that sort of maybe even will help mesh this team going forward.
I tell you what, I wish we were playing those teams in Italy about 6 games in the Pac-12. No, it'll help, because, we were away in a different country. It was a bonding. More than anything, it'll help us. We had team bonding.
Sure.
They were able to get together and learn each other. And with the 4 games that we played, we were able to spot out our weaknesses. Right. So now we're working on our weaknesses. We don't have to wait till 4 games into the season to know what we need to work on. So it helped in a number of ways, and but more than anything, I think it helped the guys get together and learn each other and help with the bonding experience.
Yeah, sometimes you need to take broadcasters along with you just to help.
I know.
Help
the trip to Italy. Sign me up. Coach, I would like to talk to you for the last 20 minutes of the show. Unfortunately, there's a giant man here in a Hawaiian shirt that we have to get to next. He's a frightening person, Sean Cody. He's going to be joining us next on Trojans Live, but that is Tony Bland. And, get to Galen Center this season. There's something brewing with this team. It's taken time. Tony and company have brought in the recruits, but there's some talent there, and it should be a special season here for USC men's basketball. I'll get all that information at GetTrojanTix.com. Coming back with the All-American Sean Cody on Trojans Live.